America, the camera is on you. Let's talk about it with Dennis L. Martin, Sr. What will we show the world in this defining moment? Come on, let's talk about it.
Well, hey everybody, it's Pastor Martin. It is Thursday. I know I'm on a little bit early or more than I usually be, but want to talk about this tonight, and grateful to have you with me and sharing with me tonight. Want to just talk to you very brief tonight about America, the camera is on you. You know, years ago when we were coming up, we had a program that I used to love to watch. It was called Smile, you on Candid Camera. And so, you know, you would look at it and people, they would do pranks and then they would point at the camera and say, you on Candid Camera. Well, America is on camera. Think about that. From the last couple of weeks, we've seen things, and we've seen them all the time. But, you know, usually when you watch things, they'll say to you that you can have evidence and these things would take place. Or if you would go in the courtroom, they said, do you have proof? And someone would show you a video of something or whatever, and people would be convicted or whatever just by watching that. Well, we've seen for the last couple of weeks, we've seen in a broad way, we've seen where we've had footage and video footage of things that have happened. In some cases, we've got indictments, or in some cases, we've got charges. But it's just amazing to know that America is now on camera. Everybody has a camera. Everybody can videotape with their phone. They can go live at the spur of the moment. So America is now on camera. And it's amazing that even though America is on camera, even though we're seeing stuff, we're still seeing people that act like there are no cameras at all. We still see people that are just doing things. They keep doing things. They keep doing things out. They keep committing crimes or whatever it may be. The police keep doing their thing. People in the street keep doing their things, and they act like there's no cameras anywhere. And this is such a defining moment for America and for the world and for our justice system, for our police departments, for everybody. It is a redefining moment to the extent that because of the things that we've seen on camera, and because America is now on camera, now we see where they're changing certain things, and certain things are finally maybe changing. We may be turning that curve to get to that place to change some things. When you think about they're now taking and changing the name of Aunt Jemima syrup and taking that picture off that's existed for 130 years. 130 years. Think about that. Now they're looking to change that and probably some other things. Why? Only because America is now on camera. Everything is being videotaped. Everything is being live streamed. I saw a video today. I don't know if it was an old video where they were arresting someone and they had the dog sicked on him. And even though they had him in handcuffs, the dog was biting the man's leg. And instead of them trying to get the dog from biting his leg or tase the dog or whatever, they continued to let the dog just growl and bite on the man's leg. And the people that were filming it were saying, you know, do something about it. And the man on the ground, he was saying, it's hurting. And they were so concerned about the people that were filming, they were holding the taser on them saying, get back. And so now America is now literally on camera. Everything is being taped. Hey, everything is being taped. Look at it. They're taping everything. Look like even at the red lights, when you go in Georgia, I know you can go through a stop sign or a red light and they can send you a ticket in the mail. Never come up and give you anything. Next thing you know, you get a ticket in the mail with your license plate number and everything with the amount you've got to pay. Why? Because you were caught on camera. There are cameras everywhere. There's cameras going in, there's cameras going out, there's cameras all over the place. So we have to understand that now America is now on camera. And the question that we must ask ourselves tonight, and those of you that are watching, those of you that will watch later, the question really is, what are we going to do? What are we going to show the world? What are we going to do in this defining moment? Is there going to be a time that we turn this curve, that we actually get some change, that we actually get some things that are done? Or is it just going to be where they wait us out and they wait it out? You know, because a lot of times what they do is they will do a few things to satisfy, but then they'll wait the process out because they sort of know that we can't sometimes maintain that energy level that we have to do those things we're doing. I was watching someone just the other day, and they were interviewing about the protest, and they were asking, well, how long can y'all do this? And the guy said, we can do it for the next 40 days. Well, in some cases, they may be able to do that, but maybe 15, 20 days at the max, and you'll see it dying off. You'll see it going out a little bit. Why? Simply because you start understanding that they will wait the process out. So what we have to do is we have to understand that we've got to keep the cameras in our hand, put America on camera, put America. When I say America, I'm not just talking about the justice system. I'm talking about the whole entire thing. It's on camera. We are now being taped. We are now being videotaped. We are now look at what's happening. People make posts and go on video and do racist comments and other things. And next thing you know, they've lost their jobs or they're on suspension. I've seen years ago, I've seen a guy that had a 6-figure job, went on just a thing in the drive-through at, I think one of the drive-through, and he just went off, completely off, and he ended up where he got fired, and then he was almost homeless, him and his kids and his wife, and then he got another job in another state, thousands of miles away, and he went there, but the people that he was going to work for went on social media just to follow up, I guess, and they saw his video, and when he got there, then they wouldn't let him work there either. And he said, I wish I could take it back. And the crazy part about it was that he taped his own self. Nobody taped him. He filmed it himself. That's how people get, when you watch TV and they catch some of these people that have committed crimes, they actually make selfies of themselves and videos of themselves with guns and money, and then make posts of themselves. So America is now on camera. We on camera. You're on camera whether it's physically, you're on camera whether it's a post, you're on camera whether it's something you just get up and go off on. You never know who's watching what you're doing. The cameras are everywhere. In the store, the cameras are there. On the street, the cameras are there. We are now on camera. And I want you to get that. I think this is important for us to understand that there's a camera everywhere. Where you least suspect, where you don't think cameras are there. So we need to understand that. And America is now, if you want to use this, America is now on trial. Hey, Sister Cherry. Hey, Brittany. America is now on trial. And they're on trial, and the evidence, not by circumstantial evidence, but the proof and the evidence is the camera in hand, the camera in the street, the camera on the store, the camera on the body cam is now catching our every move. And not only in many instances catching our moves, but catching also our response. Who would have thought that a few weeks ago on Memorial Day in Minnesota, that the police officer that already had George Floyd in handcuffs would be kneeling there for 8 minutes and something with his knee on his neck. But guess what? We never would have known. You're right, Sister Cherry. We never would have known Never would have known had not somebody had a camera. That phone, that camera, it makes it instant. It makes it right now. It makes it right on the spot. It's not something that you got to look and wait and see if it's something that's going to happen. Did it happen? No, it's happening now. This is taking place right now. So America is on camera. We are literally on camera. Think about that. Literally on camera. And I wonder, what are we going to show to the world? What is the world going to see? Will we make that curve, or will we play the same games that we've always played? Those games that we play to just appease people, give them time. Are we going to still play those? Are we going to, as politicians, still play those? What do you mean? You come out with a bill, a hate crime bill, and you come out with the hate crime bill, and they said, well, we're going to do it. And then the lieutenant governor comes out and said, well, no, I got a better bill, knowing that you only got a few days to pass it. So if you don't get it passed, then we've got to know a whole nother time that we got to wait till you're back in session to do it. And knowing that this bill was already introduced over a year ago. But it's only because America is on camera. If they didn't have cameras in Minnesota, we wouldn't have this discussion. If they didn't have cameras in Savannah, where the young man was chased down and shot, we wouldn't be having this discussion. If they didn't have cameras on last Friday at the Wendy's drive through other place here in Georgia, we wouldn't even be having this discussion. It would be one word against the other. And we're not just talking about in police shootings, but we're talking about in everything. We're now on, this thing is getting real. We're now on trial. Sister Chair, I was telling someone that if it wasn't for that phone catcher, we probably wouldn't even be going through what's happening right now. You're right. If there were no phones, if there were no cameras, if there were no live feeds, think about how many people would be killed, beaten. And I'm not just talking about the police, just things that's just happening, period. How many people would do that? I'm going to share with you an incident that happened just to show you how serious this thing is. About a year ago, my son, he bought a dash cam for the car, and he put it in his car, and him and his family went to the store, went to Walmart or wherever it was. And he was waiting on the parking space. Someone was coming out. So as he was the guy came through to trying to get to the parking spot before he did, I believe, or whatever. And so the guy said something to him, and my son didn't say too much to him. It went on and parked or whatever. And when the guy went on in the store, when my son got up, the police were at the door and had want him to put his hands up and all kind of stuff. And he was like, what's going on? And he's a carrier. He does have a gun, but he's licensed to carry. But they put him up, and he said, well, what's going on? And the guy had went in and told them that my son had threatened him. He said that he threatened me. And the police was taking this guy's word. Here my son is with his wife and his kids in the car, and they're going to the store, and he's being detained. So he said to them, it's not true. And they asked him for his license and everything. So he remembered that he had a camera in his car for his dash cam. So what happened was, he said to the police, I can prove that it's not true. So they followed him to the car. He played the dash cam video for them, showing the man was the aggressor, and my son never said anything to him. And then he went back, the police went back in, they said, sir, we're so sorry. Now think about it, that could have turned out a whole different way. But he said, sir, we're so sorry. And they went in, and they wanted to know that my son wanted to press charges against the man. And the man and my son said no. Now I told him, you nice, because that would have been me. I'd have said yes, I'm pressing charges. I would have sent him to jail at least for one night. He would have had to go in for one night and spend time with whoever in the jail system, in jail. Why? Because you don't accuse people falsely and put their lives and their families in that type of jeopardy. So what I'm saying to you is, without America being on camera, a lot of crazy stuff could happen. When the lady hit me the other day, my dash cam wasn't working, and the fuse or something had blown, and I went immediately and got that fuse put in there. I put the fuse in there myself, got that dash cam working, because I said, if anything ever happens, I want to have proof that of what's going on with this. If someone hits me or whatever it is, I want to have proof. So America is on camera. We all are on camera. It's good to have them. It's good to be able to go live. It's good to be able to talk about, to do things, because what we need to recognize is, without some of these things, you would be like a sitting duck, because people can say anything. But when you've got proof, there have been cameras that have caught daycare workers beating little kids, babysitters, slapping little kids, throwing them around. There have been cameras where fathers and mothers have left them in the house, and they throwing people around. I mean, somehow I said, well, that don't make no sense. But if they didn't have the camera, it would not be videotaped. And so now the world should be on notice. But the crazy part about this is that all these cameras and people still acting like they're not being filmed. You need to smile, like they used to say on the old show, smile. You on candy camera. You are definitely on camera. Believe that. Somebody is watching. You on camera. We got cameras around houses and everything. When people pull up, you know they pulling up. I got cameras around my house. When people pull up, sometimes they be like, how did you know I was here? Because I'm sitting there looking at you as you get out your car. I'm watching you get out your car, and I know you at my door. And then they've got things, and you see people stealing packages off things, off porches, and off people's front at the front door. And I saw one where the lady was putting the packages in her car, and the lady was at work and came on the mic and said, "Hey, what you doing? Put my packages back." And she's like, "Oh, is this not her house?" No, it's not her house. And she put her packages back and got on the phone and act like she was calling the person. We are now on camera. America is on camera. Somebody is watching. And you better believe that. They've got a whole setup in Georgia, where they can watch you on the highway. Even while you driving, they can pinpoint in on you. In stores, they do the same thing. Somebody's always watching you. It's on camera, y'all. Thank God for cameras. America, the justice system, the police department, the fire department, every department, everybody needs to know we on camera. I'm always mindful when I go out that I'm on camera. Anybody could be taping you. Anybody could be filming you. And you can say, well, that's not me. It's sort of hard to say it's not you when they got a clear face and a clear picture. People robbing, when they rob stores and stuff, I'm like, what are y'all doing? Don't y'all know they got cameras watching you? It's just a matter of time before they catch you. The young ladies that was still in just the young ladies that were going in and stealing persons and stuff, it's just a matter of time. They got your face. Somebody gonna turn you in. They got a reward for somebody now. Forgot what it's about, but I think it's like a $20,000 reward. They better be glad I don't know them, because I'll probably be turning them in. I need $20,000 right about now. And you're right, Brother Sams. Even you're correct. Even satellite is taping you. Did you not know you could uh, go into Google and places like that and type in your address and it'll, I think it's called Street View or whatever. It'll bring you right to your front door and show everything, show your house. People can do that all the time. People do that and they know where you live and know what your house look like. Everything is being taped. Everything is on camera. And I tell you everything. And so we got to understand that right now, if we didn't have this, we wouldn't have this discussion. The only thing they would have said was, that guy died. George Floyd died. The only thing they would have said. And again, let me go back and I'm through. Isn't it amazing that the young man, even that was shot in Savannah, down in that area, they taped it. It's amazing our obsession with the camera. That's amazing to me. We are obsessed with these cameras, that we will tape our own stupidity, tape our own, I'm going to say that again, tape our own stupidity and then post it. Who does that? Who tapes and then post incriminating evidence against yourself? It's amazing the way we think. And so now, not only we on camera, we are playing to the camera. It's like, see me, and not even knowing you're going to lose your job. I think I've seen a couple people with pictures of noose and other things that they were using, and they're losing their jobs. People would post it. One young lady was getting ready to work at a daycare or something, and she posted, they had hired her already. She was supposed to go to work the next day, and she posted on her thing that I don't like kids. And somebody else read that had hired her that she didn't like kids. So they fired. She got hired and fired just like that. We have this obsession with cameras. And America is now on camera. Smile. You on candid camera. Smile. It's taping you. And I don't blame people for, if you get pulled over, whatever. I don't blame you for taping. It was about 2, maybe 3 years ago. I got pulled over. I didn't tape it. I was going, my church mother was sick. She was in the hospital. She was in her final days and she passed. And they had called me and I was rushing to the hospital to go see her, whatever. And I never forget that, I saw the police. I saw him up there on the thing. I saw him as he's right here. I saw him and I passed by. I was on one of them back streets. And so when I went by, he put the lights on me. So, and I'm a carrier. I'm licensed to carry, but I had my gun in my glove compartment where I also had my registration. So so when he stopped me, he said, "Did you know you were speeding?" I said, "No, I didn't." And he was a Caucasian officer, older guy, and I said, "No," and he said, "Well, you were." He said, "Can I see your license and registration?" And when I gave him my license, I gave him also my permit to carry. I always do that to be on the safe side, let them know that there is a weapon present in this car. And so I gave it to him and he said, "You got a weapon?" I said, "Yes." I said, "It's in the glove compartment and that's also where my registration is." And he said, "Well, open the glove compartment, reach in and get your gun out and put it on the seat." So I said, "All right." And I did that. And then I got my registration. And then he said, "Put the gun back in the glove compartment," and I did. And I was a little nervous or whatever. He said, "Oh, you ain't got to be nervous. It's okay. You don't have to be nervous." And it was daytime, but it could have been any time. And I said to him, I said, "Well, they are shooting black men," and he just sort of smiled and went on, and he gave me a warning ticket or whatever. But I'm just saying to you how things can easily get out of hand. And if it's not on tape, you have things. And so you have to protect yourself. You got to learn to protect yourself, your family. Some things you have to tape. When you run into incidents with people and they're being, acting crazy and stuff, sometimes you have to tape it because you can't always depend on just a witness to say, well, this is true. You need some evidence. And so now we're on camera. America, are we gonna turn this curve? I mean, we've been here before. And that's the whole point. We've been here before. This is not the first time we've been at this corner. But for some reason, we have never turned that corner. This first time you talking about Netflix, the owner of Netflix and his wife giving $120 million to black colleges. You're talking about them changing the picture for after 130 years of Aunt Jemima and getting ready to change the syrup name. You're talking about things that are changing. You're talking about, I saw a guy that while he was in jail had a tattoo put on him about white is supreme or whatever. But after seeing the stuff like this, he went back in and to a tattoo parlor and asked them to cover that up because he didn't want to be named as a racist or whatever. So people are changing things, and we've been at this curve before. And so the question, since America is on camera, is are we really going to turn this curve? That's really the question. Are we going to turn the curve? If we turn the curve, that's going to be something that's going to bless us. We got to turn it, though. If we don't turn that curve, then we'll be at this same spot, and the next group will be whatever. But we got to turn the curve. Now, let me say something that I know, hey, Pastor Johnson, that I know, may not be, well, maybe I better leave that alone because I don't want to offend nobody tonight. So let me leave that one alone. Because I just shoot straight from the hip. So let me let y'all marinate just on this right here first. And then we'll do that another time. So tonight, as I get ready to leave you, thank y'all so much for joining me in your comments. Please do me a favor and share with somebody. But I just wanted to come on. This was on my mind today, and I didn't want it to miss, this thing. America, the camera is on you. It's on you. And I know and Brother Sam's, Sam's, I hear you. Sometimes they don't care. And this is why it's important for us. Another thing that they did, and they did it on purpose. When they did things with the voting, they do stuff like that on purpose for you to get discouraged that if they do it in the primary election, then you will not apply yourself to come to the main election because of your bad experience that you had in the last election. Well, how we solve that problem is we go when early voting start, vote early, go early, vote early, and then if you can't vote early, stand, whatever you got to stand, because don't let them fool you. They don't want you to vote. They rather get you so discouraged that you be like, I ain't going back to vote no more. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. The soul of America is at stake. You see it. It's happening right now. You see what's happening. The camera is on America. What are we going to do in this defining moment? What are we going to do? Are we going to do something? Are we just going to sit here and be like, oh, well, I'm just, and then you hear people say, my vote don't count. Stop saying that. You never know how, because your vote is not just for the president. It's not just for it's for other things. We got to vote for people that take their thing. Now, let me say this, and I got to close. Paul Howard, our district attorney, is he indicted the police that shot the guy on Friday. He indicted him. Well, he pressed charges. They brought charges up. They didn't indict him. They got to wait to go through a grand jury to do that. But he said, he wished that they would change the law all in the whole world, that the district attorney or the prosecutor could have the power to sign indictments to indict people. Now, let me say that on this. I think Paul Howard is a great guy, from what I know. But I 100% disagree with that. I 100% disagree with it. I don't agree with the, let me put some on my lips here, y'all. All right. I don't agree with the prosecutor having the power to sign indictments. I agree with them being able to bring the charges, but you still need checks and balances. So a prosecutor will not be able to overextend his reach and his power like some of them do now. Because if you do that, you don't set that law just for Paul Howard or Mr. Howard. You set that law for every district attorney in America. And what happens is, if it is a district attorney that is an undercover Klansman, or if it's a district attorney that's racial, black or white, then they have the power to do things and ruin people's lives without giving them really due process or checks and balances. Because even though you got all this evidence, when they go to grand jury may say, we're not indicting them. And so we don't need to give a blanket thing to prosecutors so they can go crazy. Some of them already at that point. We don't need to give them more power to do that. So I totally disagree with that. Totally. I disagree. I don't think that you give that kind of power to anybody to do that with that, and they do overreach. And so, let the process be the process. And, Pastor Johnson, you're right. They already destroy lives. They would really have power then to destroy people's lives if they could bring about indictments. No, bring your evidence. Present it before the grand jury. Let them determine if this is an indictable case. And if it's not, then we live with their decision. But we don't give anybody that kind of power to mess people's lives up, because you're not giving it just to people of color. You're giving it to everybody. And we don't want to build glass houses that we can't live in ourselves later. We don't want to build glass houses that our children and grandchildren can't live in. All right? So we got to do a whole lot better when it comes to that. Well, I'm finished tonight. Thank y'all so much for joining me. I pray and trust that you have got some out of this. And let's keep praying for these families that have lost loved ones, others that have never got justice. They're still waiting for things to happen. Let's pray for them. Let's pray for whites, blacks, and let's pray that we come together some kind of way, and let's really do a prayer and some action that we turn the curve this time. Not nothing to appease us. We don't want to be appeased. We want to literally turn the curve where you put laws on the book. Pastor Johnson said, I need to talk radio show. You're about the third or fourth person that said that. I do have a podcast y'all can go listen to where I deal with some of this stuff. Some of it is live, and some of it I just do a podcast on. But by all means, I want us, let's let them know we got to turn the curve. We got to turn it this time. And we can't turn it for a day. This curve has to be turned. We got to turn this one, and we got to go in a different direction We don't want no detours. Stop detouring, stop delaying, stop talking about, well, because if the shoe was on the other foot, we would have no delays. Let's get this done. Let's turn this curve. Let's change the way America thinks. Some of them, you're not going to do it. Whether they're, you got some good police officers. I got some police officer friends, and they've been police officers for years. And some of them are great people. But then you've got a few that are bad, and you got to deal with them. We can't punish everyone for the bad ones, but some kind of way we got to get the bad ones out. We got to weed them out. The cameras got to bring them out. We got to see the real them. Those body cams and stuff got to show what they really do and what they really think. And then that's the only way we're going to be able to do it, is to bring it to the forefront, and then somebody won't have nothing else to do but make some changes. They got to do something. Something has to happen, so our kids and grandkids can be raised in a different place than where we are. They're seeing stuff they really shouldn't have to see. We should have turned this curve a long time ago. It's 2020, and we're still at this curve. We've got to this curve in '92 with Rodney King. We got to this curve a couple other years with some others, and we've been sitting at the red light. But you can make a right on red in certain cities. We need to make that right. But we've been sitting at the red light, and nobody's made that turn yet. And now is a defining moment. And I wonder what we're really going to do. I got to get out of here, y'all. Thank y'all so much. And I appreciate you. Please share this with somebody. And, some things when they come on me like this, I just got to get it out. I'll be trying to wait, but I had to get this out tonight. America, the camera is on you. And like the old show used to say, smile. You're on Candid Camera. Thank y'all so much. I appreciate y'all being with me tonight. The Lord bless you, and the Lord keep you is my prayer.
America, the camera is on you. Let's talk about it with Dennis L. Martin, Sr. What will we show the world in this defining moment? Come on, let's talk about it.